know they say the sky is big enough for everyone to fly, but in the world of business, if you're not careful, there's a whole lot of jammings. You're just going to jam. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Raina Bello, and if you're coming across this face for the first time, hi there, so nice to have you on here. So basically this episode is like a continuation from last week, and my apologies for not dropping at like the particular time that I was supposed to. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a continuation. Last week I spoke about, the mistakes that I made as a 9-to-5er, and basically it was just like a learning point. So yeah, before I proceed, kindly like, share and subscribe. Gracias, thank you, and the likes of it. So this time around, on this episode I want to talk about my experiences. It's chicken experience, but I want to talk about my experience as a business person. So for me, I got into business pretty early, like way younger. As a teenager, was like my first experience delving into business, and I was so excited because for me it was about what I loved doing and about the fact that I was making money. No tactics, no strategy, no nothing. I was just excited that I got an opportunity and I was making money. And of course, you can guess that led to that business crumbling like too quick, because I would say too quick, though it did last for a couple of years, but eventually, because there wasn't a strategy for the long term, eventually that business fizzled out. Or even though the brand the brand name has still remained intact, but the core of the business itself fizzled out because there wasn't a long-term strategy in place. So as regards the first business, I'll tell you guys what I did. So it was in school. I'd met this it was a business opportunity that came up where I was getting these clothes and I was to sell and then take off my profits, remit money, continue the pattern of business like that, and it was going pretty well. But now here was where the problem came in: lack of discipline. Because I loved clothes, I was just wearing, like, I don't know, I guess there was an intent of, okay, I am the model and I am modeling my product, I am modeling what I am selling, but at the same time I just couldn't get my eyes off things. And I know how to do all these combinations, like I just know how to combine the right things together. So I was like, hey, I'll wear this one, I'll wear that one, I'll wear this one. So I just kept on. Before you knew it, like I'm sorry, for people that don't understand Yoruba, I don't wear my full warehouse like the entire store. I'm just kidding. I didn't wear the entire thing, but there was just that lack of discipline to say, okay, this is to be sold, this number of things. Even if I was going to like say, okay, as per CEO, let me take one or two. It's supposed to be like some cautioning and discipline to it. So I screwed up in that part. And also, maybe I was not just smart enough then to understand that business flourishes when friends and families pay for yada yada yada. You know how that saying goes. So I was very, very, when it came to pricing, because there wasn't record keeping. I was just selling and collecting money and just doing everything off my head. It wasn't record keeping. It wasn't a written down plan that I was following through with. I was just, you want to buy clothes, come, yeah. If I sell for this one 4,000, I can sell for this one 7,000. I was just doing it as it comes, and so I was just rigmaroling with the whole thing. So now I've come to realize that when it comes to business, a whole lot of things come to play. Like there are a whole lot of determining factors. Yeah, there are a whole lot of determining factors especially when it comes to pricing. Say for example, you're running your business from like a shop, you have like a store. You want to include like your rental, your transportation fee for bringing down your goods, your light bill, local government fees and taxes and all that. All of those things come to play when you're determining prices for your goods. They do, because eventually you'll be running at loss if you are not accounting for all of these things. And if you can, from your business, differentiate from your investment capital, the ones that help you run your daily bills, the parts of the profits that helps you run your daily bills, and then the profits that you can say store up as your profit, and the one that goes back into the business. if I'm making any sense. So there's that. And then number two, there's that saying that goes, the business succeeds or business prospers when family and friends pay for services rendered. So that was another thing that I did not consider. I was just, being super nice and doing darusha, you understand, with my goods, with my friends. I'll be like, this one is my party, this one is my person. Yeah, maybe something is for 9,000, you now sell it to my party for 7,000. All those little losses, and you know that okay, the price should not go anything less. If you're selling anything less than the benchmark of like 9,000 or 10,000, you're already running at loss, and you're not using your business to do the girl is good so that your friends can think that you're cool. That is not right. And when it comes to business, you cannot run it like a charity organization. No, you cannot. So like another thing I want to buttress on, another mistake that I made is again, being strategic and having like a foresight for the business. What's the long term for the business? I did not have a foresight for the business, and the reason why it's so good to have like a long term plan for the business is because the world we're in is not a static one. Things change. The world is dynamic. Trends come and go. Different patterns to business, different tactics. Like say for example, some years down the line, if you're told a very serious intentional business person that they would have to come online on TikTok and all these other social media platforms to come and dance and create content, if they really wanted to make sales, they look at you and be like, you can't be serious. Like, what's this one talking about? I've got business to do here. But right now, no matter how serious you are, no matter how much of a professor you think you are, you have to come out and create content. You have to. The digital market is where everything is decided and is where the money is presently. So, things change. And those are things that I didn't put into consideration. For example, I started selling when I was in school, and school was far back in Ilorin. And then I had built my customer niche there and all that. So when it came to, it got to a point where I didn't think of like the future that, okay, plan beforehand. Was I going to stay back in Ilorin, or was I going to like come back to Lagos? I didn't think about it. So before I knew it, kaboom, in my eyes was my final year, and I had to make that decision. And the decision was glaring for me then that I had to come back to Lagos. So I was going to carry on my clients that I already built in Ilorin to Lagos and still save my business became a huge problem that I started to have difficulty navigating through, because it was just, there wasn't a lot of record keeping, there wasn't a lot of and I wasn't so focused on branding as much. I remember then I was already doing so well and known for like what I do in school, selling clothes, fashion. When somebody told me that, what's even your name? Like, I was just doing what I know how to do by just word of mouth. I didn't pay attention into branding and the essence of marketing itself. Like, it's not just about I sell this. There's most times the essence of business is the name. That's what people trust. People trust the name. People trust the face of the business. People trust the person. Sometimes it's not really about what you're selling. It's about the brand that you've built over time. And I did not consider all those things early enough in business. And before I knew it, I got to a point where I had to come back to Lagos, and saving my business did not exactly go as smooth as I thought it would, because it was almost at die minutes that I started to think about these things. So yeah, that's one thing. Then I think after that business, after I came back to Lagos and that business didn't pull through anymore, I was able to gather funds again, save up, and then I tried doing business again. And it was going well. It was like, they call that drop shipping. I don't know. Like, people would order. I'll just take pictures from different people in Balogun. I'll post it. People would like it. Then when they pay, I add my own profit and I order these things and get it dispatched. Funny, business seemed to be going well. Here's another mistake that I made. Out of the blues, an opportunity to do a 9-to-5 came up for me. And I was just so excited about our constant money, salary money. I was so excited about it because you know how business can be. One day I can get like 10 orders. Like I am Pablo Escobar today. I'm just balling anyhow. Then another 1 week or two, nobody will even come and say, what are you even selling there? Oh? And I'd seen my friends around. They were collecting salary every month. At all. I said, it's like, I want to do the salary job. So the initial plan was that I'll be doing salary job, I'll be doing salary work, and then I'll be doing my business as well. But dear me, like, for the love of me, it drained me. Traffic, the hustle and bustle of Lagos, the intensity of the job itself, and coming back home having to take orders, I couldn't meet up. Before I knew it, I chose my 9 to 5, and then my business just fizzled out again. And I think that was like my third attempt at it, and it would peak, and then distractions will come up. So beware of distractions. Like, there has to be like a lot of intentionality if you want to do business. You have to be very, very intentional about it. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days. Sometimes the bad days are more than the good days, but you have to be intentional, and your focus has to be more on building your brand, like branding. Let people know that the name Abebi Reina, the name Reina Bello, stands for what it stands for. So once they just hear that name, it speaks for itself. Any product that carries that branding, naturally, it sells itself. It took me a long stretch of time to learn this fact. And another thing is, don't eat your profits and say, oh, okay, should be another person will buy, should be one thing will happen. Don't know. Like, there be that discipline there. Like I said earlier, don't eat your profits and say the money will come again or this one will happen again. Like I said, unforeseen circumstances, you don't know what can happen. And another thing that I have noticed is that, like, especially from my experience, letting my own brand take the fall for my 9 to 5 job, is you feel that hollow space, and you hunger for self-fulfillment. Like, the same thing happened with my YouTube as well. Every time I took a break from YouTube and I just left it for one thing or the other, either it's a 9 to 5, either it's this or that, it starts to create this hollow space, and I start to lose a certain level of peace, because when there's a certain level of joy that you derive from doing your own thing. I'm not saying everybody has to be an entrepreneur. I'm not saying leave your 9 to 5 to come and do business. No. But you can, be effective at this, keep at this. You're doing your 9 to 5 because you need the steady income as well. Sometimes it's even support for your personal business. But at the same time, you can't just be living your own 24 hours of your life contributing to other people's businesses, because the company you work at is another person's business. That's their own brand. That's their own thing. The same way you are starting now with your 2 for 10 kobo business, you're looking at it like, okay, it's nothing, and you're downplaying it. That's probably the same way they started. Apple started in a garage, because basically that your business that you're just looking at like, oh, okay, it's nothing, and should be just jewelry I'm selling, or maybe you're just selling like, say, shades or wristwatches, just something that just looks like rather on a small scale right now. You can't even, like, even more than your wildest dreams, sometimes you can't say how massive this business can turn out to be. You can't say if maybe tomorrow this business that is just at the inception stage right now is supposed to be like the next big thing, the next Apple type of shit, the next global brand, and you're sacrificing it for working in a company that offers you the benefits of a 9 to 5, a company that probably might not even outlive another 10 years, and you're sacrificing a greater purpose for it. So that's just one thing that I have come to realize and learn in my own experience so far, that every time that I left building my own brand, that I left my own thing and I pursued 9 to 5, don't get me wrong, it's good to have a 9 to 5, and if you are a creative, if you feel like you have come to that point in your life where you know that it's inevitable that you have to do this, there's that CEO, there's that founder inside of you that just wants to solve problems, that wants to create a solution to an existing problem and offer people a certain type of service that is literally under your brand. If you feel like you've come to this realization, of course, you obviously have to start from somewhere. It doesn't mean you have to outrightly just throw away every other thing, throw away your source of income, say, okay, because they say 9 to 5 would derail you from your purpose. No. Except, of course, you're a Nepo baby and you have endless funds. You can decide to, keep trying your hands on this idea and that idea as you envision them, and you can be like, okay, scratch that. Who cares about a 9 to 5? But if you know that, you're more of the Lapo baby, you gotta just be strategic and be very, very heads on with things. Like, you need to like really, really draw out that plan and know what you're doing. So there can be a balance. That's just the long and short of all of this story that I'm saying, that there can be a balance from my experience. Because January to, I think the last time I did my episode, I stopped putting up my episodes in January for my YouTube. I stopped putting up my episodes, and then I slagged for like some 2 months, 3 months, but eventually I'm still doing my 9 to 5, and I have decided to create time, even if it's in the middle of the night. I will make sure that I continue building my brand slow and steady wins the race. So I hope this does make sense to somebody, and I just hope this stirs you to go back to that thing that you've given up on, or just try your hands at that dream that you've been envisaging for the longest. And I wish you all the best, and I wish us the best at all of our dreams. Yeah, see you guys in my next one. Thank you. Bye. Mwah.